What's up, y'all? It's your man DX. Welcome again to the Elite DX channel. And today, I'm going to do something a little different. From time to time, I like to listen to other YouTubers and some of the things they come up with. You know, people email them things where they want to get advice. Now, why you would be seeking advice from a YouTuber, I do not know, but it does happen. Some men email and want advice on their situation, and some YouTubers pull things off of Reddit or other places like that and just read it on their site and give their take of what's going on it. So most of the time when I'm sitting here listening to this, I'm like screaming at the computer monitor because I want to put my 2 cents in, and I want to tell this dude what he really should be doing in my own words, because y'all know I don't mess around. I just keep it 100. So today we got True Story from YouTube and a Reddit post that he picked up that was written by this guy whose woman cheated on him. He's heartbroken and he wants to know what he should do and where he went wrong. The Reddit post is called, "Confronted my wife on New Year's morning. She confirmed she's having an affair. I'm devastated." It's a pretty long post, so I'm going to let True Story in his own words read it off, and then I'm going to give my comments.
I confronted my wife on New Year's morning. She confirmed she was having an affair. I'm devastated. It starts off with, well, what a wreck I am. I'm hoping that I can find a future somewhere here. My wife and I have been married for 11 and a half years and together 13 plus. We have 2 kids, a daughter, 9, and a son that's 7. I always felt that our marriage was different than all the ones around us that we saw failing. We are best friends, soulmates, until death do we part. I was wrong. My perception of things were different than hers, apparently. I was aware that we had some things missing in our relationship, but I thought the other strengths outweighed the issues. I was wrong. Yep. It could be one tiny little thing. You guys heard Boris Kojo's wife. He doesn't kiss me on the back of the neck anymore when I'm making eggs. That was enough for her to want to be single again. I noticed some funny behavior over the last couple of months, but never put any of it together. I see now that I was in denial of the fact that this person that I trusted more than life itself could or would go outside our marriage.
Hold it. Stop right there. I think I can diagnose most of this dude's problem right now. Number 1, you're too nice to women. Number 2, your wife sees you as a beta. And number 3, you're too weak and you care too damn much. Well, DX, what do you mean by that? Well, let me break it down. When you're dealing with women and when you're thinking about being in a long-term relationship or a marriage with a woman, as in this situation, you have to be very, very careful of the way you handle yourself around them and what you're willing to extend to them. Now, it's an open question as to whether I believe in marriage or cohabitating at all. I guess the way I would explain it is that I believe in it if it's beneficial to you, men. But in the conventional sense of the way people think of marriage and the way marriages have gone nowadays, no, I do not. I do not believe in those, and I don't believe in cohabitating in the conventional sense of the way people think people live and how they think people should live. Because in this feminized and pussified society that we live in today, everyone, almost everyone, assumes and expects that the woman should be basically in charge and running the relationship. But I digress. If you're going to be in a long-term relationship, marriage, cohabitation, whatever, with a woman, it is essential that she, forever and ever, for the rest of her life, sees you as an alpha male. And you must always be very mindful of how you present yourself in front of her and how you conduct yourself in front of her. I'll give you an example. children. You conduct yourself in front of children as an authority figure. And you must do this with women. Because after all, let's face it, most women, 98.99% of them are, in fact, big children who never grew up. You can tell by the way they act, how emotional they are, how petty they are, how they get into little spats over nothing, and how they always want drama. I'm saying all of this because in this post at the beginning here, this guy saying that he thought his wife was supposed to be his best friend and his soulmate for life. Let me tell you something, dude. Women don't look at you that way. Life is hard, and women are evolutionarily programmed to run with the strongest dog out there. Now, there are ways to let her know every single day of her life that you are the strongest and smartest male she's ever going to meet in her life. And if you guys listen to my channel long enough, you will understand how I did it. But if you do not do this, naturally, she's going to start looking around and you will get cheated on. And the next thing is, stop being a little bitch. You can't be too nice to women. I'm sorry, but you know what? You have to be a strong man who knows how to say no, first of all, and you have to be a person who's going to put a woman in her place when she needs to be put in her place. Actually, that might sound sexist, quote unquote, and misogynistic and all that, but women appreciate that and they deserve it and they like it. Being too nice. What do I mean by that? Stop acting like her girlfriend. Okay? Stop acting like her girlfriend. She comes to you with a conversation that you ain't really interested in, blah, 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 and my girlfriend this and my girlfriend that. And, you know, it was really hard for me because I felt this way and I felt that way. Just hold up your hand with the 5 fingers, say, talk to the hand. I don't want to hear it. Shut her down. Because if you start acting like a girlfriend, she's going to see you as weak. They take advantage of those type of things. I know you've been programmed to think that you have to be sensitive and caring and talk to her and all that shit. Women don't want that shit. Be a man. Say, look, I understand what you're saying. Call your girlfriend on the phone and tell her, but I'm not interested. I got things to do. See ya. And my third point was that this dude cares too much. That's right, you care too much. You might say, well, DX, well, how can you care too much? Well, one of my favorite sayings, and I think I invented this saying, is that I'm not worried about what she's doing. She better be worried about what I'm doing. And what that means is you always have to keep them on their toes. You cannot let them have full access to everything in your life. You have to understand that a woman's nature is she wants to be a part of your life. So you always have to keep some certain part of your life off limits and locked down, so to speak, for her to be striving to be a part of. You see, she doesn't want you trying to be a part of her life and appeasing her and pleasing her. She doesn't really want that. She wants to be the one that's pursuing you to be a part of things in your life. So you have to come from a frame of, I'm the alpha dog and you running with me and you want to be involved in my life. Okay? And you have to stop walking around like you're her subordinate and you just don't want to make her upset. And there's some dudes out here who walk around on pins and needles in their own house that they're paying for just because they don't want to make their woman upset. You have to realize that when you move out of your masculine space and go into her feminine space, she then moves into your masculine space. That's what women do. So yeah, I don't know what this guy's marriage was like when he first got married. And he said he's been married 11 years to this woman. And I don't know what has happened over the last 11 years. But one thing I know for sure is that he is now currently the female in this relationship. And I could just stop there. But let's go ahead and listen to more of this man's Reddit post.
Both of us started getting healthier at the beginning of the year. Weight loss being the key. I have lost 115 pounds. Her 60. It was making our lives better. My attitude and outlook on life was getting more positive. Our sex life and intimacy was improving. I had very low libido due to me being so heavy. In my mind, I had committed to 2018 being the best year of our lives. But the last 10 years seemed to have already taken the toll on my wife, and she started looking outside our marriage. I noticed that she was going out with the girls more often, doing more after work activities like getting involved in her union. She was buying new clothes. I simply chalked it up to the weight loss and feeling better and wanting to go and have more fun, which I was encouraged, as I like to go out with the boys and work out of town occasionally. I never wanted her to feel like she was housebound with no social life. I noticed that her phone stopped showing her location on some of the nights that she was out. Once again, never thought anything of it. In fact, felt guilty for even thinking that she would be up to something. Finally, she told me last Friday in the afternoon that she was going to a girlfriend's to have some drinks and would probably crash at her house. No. I told her that it was a great idea. Have fun and make sure that she crashed there rather than driving home. That night I checked her phone location once to see which friend she was staying at without bothering her. What? She didn't even tell you which friend? She just said a friend? Wow. Well, I noticed her location was off again. I switched from Find My iPhone to Find Friends app. I had never used this app. Didn't even think that we were signed up on it. Well, we were. And it put her phone location at a hotel near the airport in our town. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. Wow. In the morning, I saw her location go through the drop-off loop at the airport. I still tried to give her the benefit of doubt, and maybe her plans changed with the girls and they went out for drinks instead of staying in. Maybe one of her friends needed a ride to the airport.
Like I said, I ain't worried about what she's doing. She better be worried about what I'm doing. Instead of placing trackers on her phone, staying up late to figure out when she's coming home and what she's doing, there's a much easier way to handle this. You got to play the game the way women play it. It's psychological warfare. All you have to do is have it set up in advance. Let her know that you have friends from work. Okay? Friends from work. There's Bob, there's Ted, and oh yeah, there's Alice. You know, she's cool. She's all right. See, this is how women do it. And then when she comes to you in a situation like this and says, well, I'm going out with my girls and we're going to have a drink. Say, okay, fine. Yeah, that's fine. I hope you guys have fun. And by the way, a few friends from work want to go out and have a drink. You know, and she's going to be curious, of course, because she doesn't trust you anyway. Women never do. So she's going to say, well, who from work? And they say, well, there's Bob and there's Ted. And oh, yeah, you remember Alice. I told you about her. She's just going to tag along and we're just going to have a couple of drinks and we're going to hang out for a while. And I'll be home, you know, no later than about 2 or 3 o'clock. See, they don't like it when you play the same game they play, you see. So that's what you have to be adept at, is playing these little psychological games. And you can bet that when the 1 o'clock hour, 1:30, 2 o'clock rolls around, your phone will be blowing up with text messages and calls trying to figure out where you are and if you're home. And she'll be sitting right there at the house because she got her butt home at 11:30. You see what I'm saying? That is when you're in the dominant position in your masculine frame. And she has no choice but to go along with it and accept it. But I will be honest about this, fellas. It is hard to get into this position in your relationship nowadays because what you have to do is it has to be genuine and authentic. Women are notoriously skilled at sensing bullshit. So you have to really not care what the hell she does. So I suggest every chance you get in your relationship, make sure you tell her, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you do. If you want to leave me, there's the door. Leave. You see? So then over a period of time, she starts to realize he really doesn't care. So it has to be authentic. You can't act this out. you have to really not care. But once you get to this point in your relationship, then it's pretty much on autopilot after that. Now, the dude that wrote this Reddit post, after 11 years, he's still insecure, wondering what his wife is doing, trying to follow her around. There's just too much feminine energy going on with this dude. But I'm sure it gets even worse than this. Let's go.
Well, when she got home, I was asking her how her night was. Did they have fun? Did she crash at her friend's house? Did she crash at her friend T's house or K's house? She said they drank and crashed at T's house, 50 miles from the airport. I was asking if T or K were planning vacation this week. She said no. I wanted to blow my lid there and then. The kids were around. I decided to keep my mouth shut until that evening, as we planned on being together that night. Instead, she fell asleep with our son, a regular occurrence. He likes to be cuddled to sleep. It made me mad. Yeah, she had already cuddled the night before and got it in. Like, she's not in the mood. I could not get it out of my mind. I started snooping on everything. Found a pair of panties that I had never seen in her purse. A bottle of KY in her bathroom bag. We've never used it. And then I grabbed her phone from the nightstand in my son's room while she slept. My soul was crushed. I found text messages, explicit, and Snapchat conversations. She told him she loved him. Wow. I found cell phone calls on our bills going back to October 31st. Long 1 to 3 hour conversations, so many of them. I did not sleep a wink that night. In the morning, New Year's Eve, I waited until I could get in a part of the house without the kids and was asking her who else knew about her new man. She was shocked, but told me only her friend Kay knew. She had kept a secret from other friends and family. He was a man that she had known through her union committees, and that he was a married man also. She wouldn't tell me his name, though. I told her I was leaving for the day and was not sure when I would be back. I drove to my office, picked up a bottle of whiskey, and proceeded to drink an entire bottle of Jack Daniels from the bottle while I watched my Buffalo Bills earn their way into the playoffs for the first time in 17 years. What a bittersweet day. I also was able to put enough pieces together from his social media names, not his real name, to figure out who he was and who his wife was, and get his wife's cell phone number from a website that she was listed on. I immediately texted his wife. She was on vacation with him. My wife dropped him at the airport to meet her at their destination. Wow. She also confirmed that they had been unhappy for a while, but their vacation was to be a step in rebuilding their marriage. My wife sent me multiple texts while I was at the office. I turned off my location and blocked her from all social media and never responded. This prompted her to contact her entire family and tell them what had happened, as she was unsure if I was going to contact them first. I didn't talk to anyone. I was ashamed, embarrassed, emasculated. Why would I tell anyone? Yeah, it's embarrassing.
So there's a lot of lying and deception going on that you see, and it makes you uncomfortable and nervous, and so you start snooping, and you find out that she's lying to you. She's hiding KY and new lingerie in her stuff that you don't know about. And there's all kinds of phone calls and texts and all that stuff between her and this guy she's messing around with on her phone. Well, this all falls under the category of you care too much, and she knows you care too much, and she takes you for granted, and she sees you as beta. I will reiterate, I don't give a damn what she's doing. She better be worried about what I'm doing. Now, it's not lost on me, and I do understand that you guys, both of you, were overweight, and you lost some weight, and it seems like she's gained her confidence, but you still seem to have these low self-esteem issues or something, because you ought to be just like her. You lost weight as well, so you should feel good about yourself, and you should have an attitude and a kind of a swagger too right now. You see, being a man is supposed to be all about being cocky and arrogant. See, you're the peacock. You're supposed to be, but that's her. She's in the masculine frame while you're occupying her feminine space because you're insecure and you're following behind her to find out what she's doing. So that just reiterates my point from before. Now, this thing about her telling you that only one of her girlfriends knows about this, that's a lie. Women do that because they don't want to tell you straight to your face so that you'll feel bad. But you can best believe that all of her girlfriends know that she cheated on you and who the guy is and how big his willy is and all that kind of shit. And probably even some family members like her sister and her cousins, female cousins and things like that. They know, believe me. And the reason they do that is because it's about humiliation. And the other reason is because of plausible deniability. You see, she's setting it up with her family and friends so that later on, if your marriage gets dissolved and you guys break up, she can then go to them and say, see, I told you he's a weak man. He's not the man I thought he was. He's so weak that I had to cheat on him. You remember that. And see, this is what they do because they want to be able to later on vilify you and make you out to be nothing. And of course, she comes off as the little angel. But about you tracking down the guy and finding out who he is and who his wife is, again, that's all in the feminine frame because that's the type of thing that women do. They do that type of thing because they're insecure. They want to know what the other girl's about and who she has and if she's in a marriage and all this. One other note, though, she's sleeping with this guy knowing he's married. And that shows that she sees him as an alpha male and you as a beta because women are, as we all know, women are okay with sharing an alpha male. They would rather share an alpha male than have a beta male that they see as weak all to themselves. Facts. Now let's see how this situation plays out in this post.
I waited until morning, slept on the couch in my office to make contact. I told her I was safe, and if she wanted to talk, to get someone to watch the kids and come to my office. She was hesitant, but came. I was asking her all the questions we all want to know when this happens. Most importantly, who she was going to leave, me or him. She said that she had cut him off and wanted to make things work with us. I hope that I can believe her. We are trying to be our best selves around the kids, including staying in the same bed. She told me that she needed to work on herself and might not stay in our bed. She has given me access to her phone. She said that there had been 1 5-minute phone calls with the other man to confirm that they were done and both were going to try and make their own marriages work. This morning I texted his wife again to see what my wife was saying was true on their end. I have not received a reply from her. I haven't told my wife I texted her again. Not sure if I should, but I want to be 100% transparent and honest. Since then, I have read many posts on here and some other blog posts. I pointed to the 180, which I have read a couple of times now. Man, I have acted in exact opposite of what the 180 tells us to do since D-Day. That's what brings me to this post and the questions that I have. I truly want to save our marriage, and she has told me the same. Yet I don't believe a word she says. I am simply going on faith right now. She said that today she will find phone numbers for counselors, therapists for us, individuals, and then couples therapy. For those of you that have reconciled, did you implement the 180? Did you do it right away? It seems so hard. The other thing that worries me about the 180 is that she knows me better than I know myself. It seems to me that she will see right through it and still know exactly how I feel. I'm bad at lying, especially to her. I also worry that the 180 will push her away. So many emotions. Have others had positive experiences with therapy, individual or couples therapy? I really want to hear from people who have survived this and kept their marriages together, and more importantly, made their marriages better after this betrayal. So heartbroken right now. Thanks in advance.
Now, see, after all of that, after all he's been through, he's still running up behind her and acting as if she's the victim and he did something wrong instead of her. And that is a direct result of massive manipulation. You see, women are very, very skilled at manipulation, but you can only be manipulated if you are weak and you let a person manipulate you. And unfortunately, most men, because of the way they've been socially conditioned and brainwashed, are very weak when it comes to this. You have to know how to play the game. You have to understand that you have to be manipulative yourself and conniving and just as treacherous and skilled in the arts of deception as women are. Now, he mentioned the 180. I don't even know what that is, but what I'm assuming it is that you act a totally different way towards the person after you find out they've cheated. You sort of start turning your back on them and all those things. I assume that's what it means. But he says it seems so hard to do that. What? You're still in the feminine frame. Nothing is hard if you're a man. It's just a challenge and you get over it and you do it. That's being a man. So yeah, he's still in the feminine frame. And then he even says, she knows me better than I even know myself, so she'll see right through it. What? This too is, you're weak. So it's a lot of man training that needs to go on here. This guy has been married 11 years, and obviously he's probably too old to learn anything new. But this is the reason I have this channel, and this is the reason I do these videos like this, because I want to teach young men how they should be and what they need to know about the dating game, marriage, whatever you want to call it. And the last point here on this video is that he mentioned therapy, and when you're married and in a long-term relationship, therapy doesn't work. It's not about therapy. It's about setting a frame and maintaining that frame and not giving ground on who you are supposed to be and who you are. That's what it's about. Stay strong, be decisive, and let it be known to every female that you deal with in any circumstance that you are a man and you're in your masculine space, and that's where you're going to stay. No matter what society says, no matter how much other people don't like it, no matter how much you get shamed, be a man and be proud of being a strong, decisive man. Okay, so I think that's a wrap for this video. If you like what you've heard and you like the content, go ahead and smash that like button and tell a friend, tell family, tell whoever, anybody you think needs man training, tell them this is where it is. Tell them about my channel. Thank you for tuning in to the Elite DX. Go ahead and share this video and my channel on any social media that you want to. It's okay. And until next time, this is your man DX, and I am out.